The world stands on the edge of silence. Nations whisper of peace, but their hearts are filled with preparation. Every border burns with tension. Every leader hides fear behind polished speeches. The sky feels heavier than ever before, as if creation itself is holding its breath. The world does not realize that the war it fears is not born from men or machines, but from the collision of the seen and the unseen. This is not the beginning of the end. It is the beginning of sorrows. Across the globe, kingdoms rise and fall in the shadows of prophecy. Armies march beneath flags they no longer understand, believing they fight for power or for freedom. But the truth is deeper. The battle lines were drawn long before the first weapon was forged, written in the invisible realm, between light and darkness, faith and rebellion. Humanity thinks it is in control, yet it moves according to an ancient script that was written before time itself. The earth groans beneath the weight of sin and pride. Mountains tremble, oceans rage, storms multiply, and the hearts of men grow cold. The prophets once warned that when wars and rumors of wars filled the air, the end would be near. But now, as conflict spread like fire and peace becomes a myth, no one listens. The noise of the world drowns out the voice of heaven. What the nations call progress, heaven calls deception. Beneath the surface, powers unseen manipulate the strings of kings. Demons disguise themselves as ideologies. Angels stand watch at the gates, and the eternal struggle draws closer to its climax. The war that is coming will not be fought with bullets alone. It will be fought with truth and lies, with faith and fear. Every soul will be called to choose a side, and neutrality will no longer exist. The middle ground will disappear, and the world will learn that silence is already a form of surrender. A new kind of darkness spreads, not the absence of light, but the corruption of it. People call evil good and good evil. The lines of morality blur until all that remains is confusion, and in the midst of this confusion, a leader will rise, a voice promising unity, peace, and safety. His words will soothe the broken, his power will astonish the wise, and his smile will disarm even the faithful. But his peace will be poison, his unity a chain. He will not come with horns or hatred, but with charm and light, and the world will worship him. The world will not call this war apocalyptic. They will call it necessary. They will call it the price of progress. Yet behind the political deals and televised alliances, the heavens will shake. Every explosion will echo in eternity. Every drop of blood will speak louder than the speeches of men. The earth itself will feel it, the vibration of judgment drawing near. In that day, fear will not be reserved for the soldiers. It will invade every home, every heart, every quiet moment. The rich will realize their gold cannot shield them, and the poor will discover that desperation cannot save them. The war will find everyone, not with bombs but with truth, because the greatest war will not be fought on the battlefield, but within the soul. And every man and woman will face the same question: whom will you serve when the world burns? As nations unite under banners of false hope, the heavens will respond with signs that no one can ignore. The sun will dim, the moon will bleed, and the stars will tremble. Earthquakes will awaken cities that once thought themselves unshakable. The sky will roar with thunder, as if heaven itself were mourning what humanity has become. And amidst the chaos a whisper will echo, a voice not of fear but of warning. This is only the beginning. Prophecy will come alive in real time. What was written in Daniel, what was sealed in Revelation, will unfold before human eyes. The beasts of power will rise again, not as mythical creatures, but as empires reborn under new names. The mark of allegiance will spread, not through force, but through convenience. The system will not need chains, for the world will volunteer to be bound. They will call it advancement, innovation, security, and the more they accept it, the more they will lose what makes them human. In the midst of this deception, there will remain a remnant, a people who refuse to bow, who stand when the world kneels, who pray when the world curses. They will be mocked, silenced, hunted but not broken. For within them burns a light that no darkness can extinguish, the Spirit of the living God. They will not fight with swords but with faith. Their strength will not come from armies, but from the one who commands the armies of heaven. This is not the end of hope. It is the beginning of truth. The war that the world fears is not meant to destroy. It is meant to reveal, to separate the genuine from the false, the pure from the corrupt. Heaven allows the shaking so that what cannot be shaken will remain. And in the shaking, faith will either die or become unbreakable. If you feel the tremor in your spirit, do not run. Do not hide in the noise of distraction. This message is not a threat, it is a calling. The world will promise safety, but only God gives peace. The storm is coming, but so is salvation. And when the world finally breaks, those who stand on the rock will not fall. For those who listen, this is the time to awaken. Seek truth, even if it hurts. Return to the word, even if the world mocks you. Pray as if your life depends on it, because one day it will. The days ahead will test everything we are and everything we believe, but the same God who spoke light into existence still speaks today, and his voice can still calm every storm. The war the world fears is coming, but remember this: fear does not win. Truth does. Faith does. Love does. The darkness will roar, but it cannot silence the light. The kingdoms of men will crumble, but the kingdom of God will stand forever. The beginning of sorrows is not the end of the story. It is the doorway to redemption. If this message speaks to your heart, don't keep it silent. Share it. Let the light spread before the darkness deepens. Subscribe to hope, follow the truth, and declare with conviction, I will not fear the storm. My faith stands unshaken. The world may be falling apart, but God is still writing the ending. The world begins to burn not with fire, but with revelation. What was hidden in shadows now stands in the open. Every system built on lies starts to crumble, and the idols of men fall like brittle stone. The war no one wanted has begun, not between nations, but within hearts. The light exposes the darkness, and the darkness fights back with fury. It will not go quietly. It will drag as many as it can into its fall. Cities that once glowed with progress will echo with fear. Towers of pride will fall, and the silence that follows will not be peace, it will be realization. Humanity will understand too late that it cannot save itself. The clever will have no answers, the rich no refuge, the powerful no control. Every headline will scream chaos, but heaven will whisper order. The shaking is not destruction, it is awakening. In that hour, the voices of the prophets will return, not from pulpits, but from the streets, from prisons, from the unseen places where the Spirit still breathes. They will not speak for fame or for fear, but because fire burns in their bones. They will proclaim the truth that no censorship can contain, that this war was written, that the King is coming, and that every eye will see him. As nations rise against nations, a new kind of empire will form, not one of land, but of loyalty. People will trade freedom for protection, truth for comfort, faith for acceptance. They will say, "Who can save us?" And one man will answer. He will unite the world under one name, one symbol, one promise. But his peace will come with a price, the surrender of the soul. His words will soothe, his miracles will dazzle, but behind his eyes lies the storm of deceit. He will not force the mark. He will make the world desire it. It will appear as progress, convenience, security. People will welcome it with joy, calling it a sign of evolution. But the mark will not be about technology, it will be about allegiance. It will not bind the skin, it will bind the heart. And when the world accepts it, the final veil will fall. What was once spiritual will become visible. The war will no longer be metaphor, it will be reality. As this false peace spreads, nature itself will rebel. The skies will darken, the seas will rise, the stars will dim. Every corner of creation will cry out against the rebellion of man. Earthquakes will split nations, storms will sweep entire cities away. The old world will collapse under the weight of its own arrogance. Men will curse God instead of repenting, shaking their fists toward the heavens. They will not understand that the very wrath they fear is mercy trying to wake them. And yet, in the midst of judgment, mercy remains. The gates of grace are not yet closed. Even as fire falls, the voice of love still calls. Return, says the Lord, before it is too late. The same God who shook the mountains once now shakes the hearts of men. Every disaster is not vengeance, it is invitation. The world's collapse is not punishment, it is prophecy fulfilled, and a door still open for those who will humble themselves. There will be those who resist. Their faith will be their weapon, their endurance, their crown. They will refuse the mark, they will reject the lie, they will not bow to fear. Many will fall by the sword, but none will fall out of grace. Heaven will remember every name, every tear, every stand taken when faith cost everything. The world will call them fools, but eternity will call them faithful, and as the beast consolidates power, his empire will glitter like perfection. He will rebuild what was destroyed and promise a future free from pain. The world will adore him. But underneath the applause, creation will groan. Even the air will feel wrong. For no kingdom built on deception can last long under heaven's gaze. The countdown will begin, not in secret, but in the stars. The sun will flicker, the moon will bleed again, and the trumpet of heaven will vibrate across galaxies. Angels will stand ready with swords of light, their eyes fixed on the command that will end the rebellion forever. The King of Glory will rise from his throne, not as the lamb this time, but as the lion. The heavens will open like a scroll, and every army of heaven will march behind him, clothed in blazing fire. And yet, before that day, there will come the greatest darkness the earth has ever known. The false prophet will perform wonders so great that even the faithful will tremble. Fire will fall from the sky at his command, images will speak, and truth will seem outdated. Those who once followed God will doubt. Those who mocked him will boast. The line between holy and unholy will seem erased. But even then, even in that darkness, light will whisper, "Hold fast," because when all seems lost, heaven will move. The prayers of the saints, stored for generations, will be poured out like thunder. Angels will descend to strengthen the weak and awaken the weary. The Spirit will fall again, not as a gentle breeze, but as a roaring fire. The remnant will rise, tired, persecuted but unbroken. Their voices will carry through the night, declaring, "The Lord still reigns," and their faith will ignite hearts across the world. This is the final test of love, to believe when everything seems broken, to hope when all seems lost, to stand when the world kneels to lies. The war the world fears is not meant to destroy faith. It is meant to refine it, to strip away the false, to reveal the eternal. Every trial, every storm, every betrayal will lead to one revelation, that no force on earth or in hell can silence the truth of God. So when the skies darken and the chaos grows, remember this: the darker the night, the closer the dawn. The King is not absent. He watches, he waits, and soon he will rise. The war that began in heaven will end on earth, and the outcome was written before the first breath of time. The serpent will crawl, the beast will fall, and the throne of the Almighty will stand forever. If you can feel this truth stirring in your spirit, do not dismiss it as fear. It is awakening. Now is the time to turn your heart, to prepare your soul, to lift your eyes beyond the noise. The world may call this madness, but eternity calls it wisdom. You were born for this hour, not to hide, but to stand. Share this message. Let the light spread through the storm. The darkness cannot win unless the light stays silent. Speak, believe, and hold fast to the faith that outlasts the fire. The war the world fears is already here, but so is the victory that was promised from the beginning. The final silence before the storm will not be peace. It will be the breath before eternity exhales. Every element of creation will pause, oceans holding still, winds ceasing to move, the stars flickering as if waiting for permission to shine. And then the heavens will open. The one who was promised will appear not as a symbol or dream, but as a blazing reality. His eyes will burn like fire, his robe dipped in judgment, his voice like many waters. The world that denied him will tremble, and every heart will know the King has returned. He will not come to negotiate, he will not come to persuade, he will come to reign. The armies of the earth will gather proud and defiant, thinking they can stand against the infinite. Their weapons will fail before they are fired. Their power will vanish like smoke before his presence. The very ground beneath them will rebel, splitting open as heaven's glory descends. The skies will thunder, the mountains melt, and every knee will bow, willingly or not. The war will end in a single breath of his word. The beast will fall first, stripped of his illusion of greatness. His empire of deceit will dissolve like mist in sunlight. The false prophet will be silenced, his lying wonders exposed as ashes. The mark that once seemed powerful will burn away from the skin of those who bore it. The darkness will realize it was never light at all, and all the kingdoms of men will collapse into one truth: the Lord reigns forever and ever. But for those who remained faithful, for those who held their ground when the world bowed, the day of terror will become the day of triumph. The sky will not bring fear, it will bring freedom. The light that burns the wicked will embrace the righteous. Tears will dry instantly in the warmth of his presence. What once was mourning will become music. What once was ruin will become resurrection. The faithful will rise, clothed in glory, their faces reflecting the brilliance of the eternal King. And then the great exchange will take place. The old world, scarred and corrupted, will fade away, and a new creation will bloom where ashes once lay. Rivers of living water will flow from the throne. Mountains will sing, trees will clap their hands, and the earth will breathe again. No more war, no more death, no more division. The curse will be broken forever, and the war that began before the dawn of time will finally be over. Heaven and earth will be one, but before that eternal peace, the final judgment will be set. The great white throne will stand in the center of the universe. Before it, all souls will gather, kings and beggars, saints and skeptics, every generation, every nation. The books will open. Every hidden word, every silent thought, every secret act will stand in the light. There will be no excuses, no disguises, no deception. The truth will speak louder than any defense. The judge will not condemn unfairly. His justice will be perfect, his mercy undeniable. Those whose names are written in the book of life will shine like the sun. The rest will fade into the darkness they chose. The war will have revealed what humanity truly worshipped: power, comfort, pride, or the Creator. Every heart's allegiance will be visible. And the question will not be, were you good enough, but did you believe enough to surrender? For salvation was never earned, it was always accepted. The victory belongs not to the strong, but to the surrendered. The Lamb who was slain will stand victorious, and his scars will tell the story of love that conquered death. When all is said and done, silence will return. Not the silence of fear, but of awe. The universe will listen as the King speaks once more. Behold, I make all things new. The words will roll across creation like thunder wrapped in peace. The galaxies will shimmer brighter. The stars will realign in celebration. The song of the redeemed will fill eternity, a melody that will never fade. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty, who was and is to come. The war the world feared was never meant to end in despair. It was meant to reveal hope that cannot die. For every battle, every trial, every tear was leading to this, the moment when love wins. The kingdoms of men will be forgotten, but the kingdom of heaven will stand forever. The story will not end in ashes, but in glory. What began in Eden will be restored in eternity. The garden will return, and God will walk once more among his creation. And you, yes, you who hear these words, were born for this time. You were not placed in this generation by accident. The same Spirit that raised Christ from the dead now calls you to stand, to choose faith over fear, truth over deception, eternity over comfort. The days ahead may be dark, but the light within you was designed for darkness. You are the lamp on the hill, the voice in the storm, the witness in the last days. Do not hide your flame, let it burn until the dawn. If your heart stirs, respond now. Whisper a prayer. Ask for strength to stand, courage to believe, fire to endure. The world is watching for answers, and the answer still has a name, Jesus. Speak his name with conviction. Let it echo through your home, your city, your soul. For there is no other name under heaven by which we are saved. He is not distant, he is returning. The clouds will part, the trumpet will sound, and those who are ready will rise. And when the final light breaks through the night, when the last tear falls, when time itself kneels before eternity, one truth will remain. Love never failed. It outlasted hate, outshined darkness, and overpowered death. The war the world feared was not the end. It was the revelation of a kingdom that cannot be shaken. The end was never destruction. The end was restoration. If this message awakened something inside you, don't let it fade. Share it, speak it, live it. Let the world know that even at the edge of chaos, hope remains unbroken. The King is coming, and his victory is unstoppable. Be ready, be strong, be faithful, for what begins in fire will end in glory, and the light will reign forever.